The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Welcome to Conversation with the Community Leader, brought to you by the Leadership Kitsap Foundation. I'm your host and Leadership Kitsap alum, Dave Walters. With me today is Chief Penny Sapp from the Kitsap Sheriff's Office. So Penny, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
The Kitsap Sheriff's Office senior leadership consists of course, Sheriff John Giese, Under Sheriff, Chief of Patrol, and Chief of Detectives, and of course, the Chief of the Jail, which is Penny Sapp. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Especially about your involvement in the community. But before we do that, let's kind of talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from?
I was born and raised in West Covina, California, which is Southern California, San Gabriel Valley.
Oh, okay.
And then after, 19 years, I decided to relocate to Denver for about 9 years, where I actually owned a restaurant and dabbed a little bit into entrepreneurship. So
really? That's interesting.
Very hard job.
Yeah, that's a very tough job.
Yeah.
And then, so how did you get out here? And how'd you get in law enforcement?
Well, my mom actually lived in Washington State, and I had 2 children, and it was rough raising 2 kids alone, so I moved out here to be with Grandma, my mom,
okay.
and worked at Elsie's restaurant for a few years, and a friend of mine, a customer actually, encouraged me to go back to school and pursue my dream of getting into law enforcement. And that's what inspired me to start testing, and I tested for the sheriff's office and got a job in the jail.
Straight into Kitsap, into the jail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so were you ever a deputy on patrol?
No, actually, I tested for patrol for a couple of agencies. I missed the run by this much, just didn't have the speed that I needed. So I thought I'd start my career in law enforcement in the jail, and after a while work my way onto patrol. But you know what? The career in corrections bit me, and I loved it, and I've loved it ever since. For 22 years I've been there, and obviously it's done well for me. So
wow,
I love work.
You've been a corrections officer for 22 years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So how did you work your way up?
Just worked my tail off. I mean, just good work ethic. I thank my parents for having a strong work ethic, but I always want to move up the chain, and never dreamt that I would be chief of corrections, because before me they always promoted deputies. The chiefs mm-hmm. would be the chiefs of the jail would come from the deputy side. So okay. I was the first corrections officer to actually get promoted to chief of corrections. Are you the first woman chief in Kitsap County? I am.
Oh, you are? Okay, good. Congratulations
so
on that. That's
I'm
good.
Excited, yes.
And then, so 22 years ago, were there very many women going into law enforcement?
No, there wasn't. And actually, I think there was like 5 females that was working in the jail, and I got hired with another female, and it was very slim pickings. And now I'm happy to say we've got about 40% of our corrections officers are females.
Okay, and then I know a lot of deputies on patrol are also female. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier, I saw one the other night and was chatting with her. Yes. When you're coming through, what kind of education did you have to have then to get into where you're at?
Well, when I tested for corrections, the only education was a high school diploma, so I had that. But I was working on getting my bachelor's degree at Chapman University, and because I like to learn, believe it or not. I didn't love school as a kid, but now I love school so much that I'm still in it.
Oh, okay.
So I got my master's degree, and then I'm working on my PhD.
What are you working on your PhD in?
Well, it's a philosophy of public policy administration, but my dissertation topic is it's called impossible jobs, and the impossible job is running a jail.
Running a jail. That's good. So, so you came to Kitsap because family was here, mm-hmm. and then raised your kids here in Kitsap County. So what's next in your career?
Gosh, I don't know. I love where I'm at now. I love working in the jail. I love working for the community of Kitsap. This is a great community. I've never felt so at home in my life. I love giving back to this community, so I don't have any plans. I mean, I'm going to get my PhD and pay those large student loans by maybe teaching, but that'd only be a part-time,
little teaching on the side,
little side gig to pay for my student loans.
I can totally see that now.
Yeah.
So to talk about the jail briefly, because then I want to talk about your community involvement. Before we do that, let's kind of talk about a few things in jail. So you do not have juveniles, right? They're not underneath you.
That's correct, and it's 18 and over.
Okay, 18 and over, and then the people that are incarcerated in the county jail are both male and female.
Correct.
Male and female. Okay, and then they are either sentenced for under 1 year or awaiting trial.
That's correct.
Right? Those are the only people you have. If it's over a year, then they go to the state.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for us to have people in our facility for over a year awaiting trial. Sometimes it could be 3 to 4 years while their trial status is pending. So we can have people for a longer period of time.
Oh, interesting.
And sometimes, just to run this example out, some people can get sentenced to less than a year consecutively. So we could have somebody for 3 years because they got 3 1 year
Oh,
sentences.
interesting.
So it is, yeah.
So how many people are in jail right now?
Right now, about 250. But
Holy, how's that many?
We actually usually house more. So before the pandemic, we had about 450 people in our facility. But when COVID hit, the prosecutors and the judges helped the jail out because of the unknown of what was going to happen when somebody got COVID. We released quite a few people. So within a week, we went from 450 to 150. And so there was plenty of social distancing in the jail for a very long time. So we're slowly working our numbers up, which is not a good thing, but we haven't hit those numbers of 400 and 450 in a very long time, and I think that's great. I think some of the reason why that's happening is because our reentry services that we're providing in the jail is working, and people are not coming back to.
So they're not coming back.
Right.
It's
working.
That is outstanding. So what? I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. What? When they come to you, what are the kind of the causes? Is it what kind of crimes are people actually being sentenced for? Is it mostly drugs?
A lot of people aren't arrested for drug crimes. I mean, the drug crimes that we have now are gross misdemeanors. So if they come in for just a possession charge, they usually get released the next day. A lot of the individuals that come into our jail, 85% of the people that come into our facility test positive for fentanyl. So drugs are impacting their behavior and causing them to commit crimes, so to speak, property crimes, maybe driving under the influence, assaults, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And you said 85% with fentanyl alone.
Fentanyl. It's not heroin anymore. It's fentanyl that is. We're in a serious crisis right now, and I tell the community that quite a bit because I wanted them to understand that this is serious and people are addicted to this horrible drug, and it's definitely hard to withdraw from it alone. So when they come into the jail, we make sure that we do it in a good, positive way so that they don't, I don't want to say suffer, but the withdrawal doesn't harm them as much.
Doesn't harm them.
Yeah.
So you obviously have medical staff.
Oh, absolutely. 24/7. There's medical staff inside the facility.
So I know on another show you talked a lot about what you do for rehabilitation and other things. So I really don't want to dive into that. But what I want to talk about is your community involvement because you, I know, have a very passionate about some of the things you do. And so the big thing you have coming up for Christmas, I'll let you even say it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is our 20th anniversary for Shop with a Cop. So 20 years ago, the corrections officers actually started this in Kitsap County, where we take underprivileged kids shopping with law enforcement at Walmart. 20 years ago, we started with 29 kids, and they each received $100, and I think we raised the money by each of us donating $100, and we had a strict budget of $2,900. 29 kids, 29. Don't go over. You can just go under, but not over. Today, as it stands, and this year, we're up to 140 kids. The first Saturday of December, so that's December 7th this year. And Central Kitsap School, we rotate school districts every year.
Oh, okay.
Central Kitsap School District is going to be the school district that we select the kids from. The school selects the kids. They select 100, and then we have 10 from Suquamish. The tribe comes from, we invite 10 kids from there, 10 from Port Gamble, and 10 from Bainbridge Island. So we make sure we always include those 3 areas as well.
The smaller areas too.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then on Saturday, so that's Saturday, and then on Sunday, so our poor friends at the Port Orchard Police Department, Unfortunately, our event and their tree lighting ceremony clash, and we were both really headstrong, and we're not changing the date of our events. So our friends at Port Orchard Police Department can't attend the major event. So what we do on Sunday is we have a smaller event in Port Orchard, so the Port Orchard Police Department can also have fun with Shop with a Cop, because it's so much fun for the cops. They look so forward to this event and having this positive interaction with kids. A lot of these children, not only are their families struggling financially, but may have had some negative involvement with law enforcement. So we want them to see police officers and deputies in a positive light, and spend time with them, along with letting them go on a shopping spree. So
do you have a waiting list for officers wanting to be the...
We get a ton of officers. We always scramble thinking we're not going to have enough, and then I'm like, I don't think I have enough kids now, because there's so many of them. It's really nice. The problem is they never sign up. They don't follow rules. It's the same during the event. We tell them, you have a certain amount of money. I think it's now $225 that we let the kids spend money on, spend on gifts for themselves. Mm-hmm. We have a couple rules, like we want the kids to spend it on themselves, because we know they're not going to have gifts for themselves, and try to stay within budget.
And then does the family come with them, or?
No, not often. There's some occasions where we do.
Or does the family like wait and then?
No, actually, they just drop them off at the drop-off location, and we bus them to the.
Kind of like Pee Wee baseball. I get
right,
that.
and we'll actually meet at the transit station in North Kitsap, and then the buses will get escorted with lights and sirens with Santa in the front to Walmart. So when you drive, like the first Saturday of the month, if you see 150 police officers and deputies standing out front, there's nothing going on bad. It's a good day. It's not a good day for anybody who want to go shoplift at Walmart.
No,
because
that'd be a bad day
it's
to
the
shoplift.
safest place to be in the county.
Okay.
But they pull up lights and sirens, and then we have each kid get off the bus, and we pair them with law enforcement, and they go shopping on their little shopping spree, see Santa, and like I was going to say, stay within budget, but police officers and deputies are horrible with saying no, and they'll be like, oh, I kind of overspent, and I'm like how much? A couple $100s. But that's okay. We have enough funds to allow that. We want the kids to have fun, and it's very touching, because at the end, it's kind of chaos for me, because I'm in charge of making sure that if 100 kids get on the bus, 100 kids get off the bus and are paired with their parents. So I'm kind of stressed about that part. But at the end, when I hear the stories, and they're very touching, and the law enforcement will share that with us, it's worth every minute of it.
That's outstanding. So if someone watches this, wants to donate to that,
yeah, they can go on our website and donate, or they can. I think you're going to put my email address on here. If not,
we'll put the website.
Okay, the website. We love donations. We have a very successful auction every year where we do raise the money. We have a very supportive community, and that's why I love Kitsap so much, because we always rally together to help members of our community, and kids and the holidays. Kids should not go without during the holiday season, so we want to make sure that they get spoiled.
Oh,
they deserve it.
That's an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So also, you're on the rodeo board.
Yeah, I'm on the Kitsap Fair and Stampede Association board. I have this inability to say no. I love.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah,
you shouldn't tell people that.
My husband hates it, but I'm kind of bored to death in the sense that I'm on a lot of boards. But yes, I've been dealing with the fair for quite a long time. In fact, the reason I got into working at the fair was to raise money for Shop with a Cop. We started by parking cars at the fair. So for many years, we, the corrections officers, were out there taking money and directing you to your parking spot.
Oh, that was your fundraiser.
That was our fundraiser. And it was a hard way to raise money. It's a lot nicer now when we're just doing an auction.
It's dusty and hot in August.
It's very hot and sunburned, and sometimes people aren't very nice to you.
Yeah.
So, but then I love the fair, and I love seeing everybody have fun. When I was doing the parking, I never got to enjoy the fair. Now that I'm part of the fair board, it's really exciting. The county commissioners, the county used to run the fair,
right,
and they just wanted to get out of the business. So they bestowed upon us this the ability to create this nonprofit board, and we created the association, and now we have a lot of hardworking board members.
That board is famous for being one of the hardest boards to be on in the county.
Well, you want to be on the board?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. So we got some openings, so I'm just saying, but we're a working board. I mean, our fair managers, I think they bang their head against the wall because we like to be on site working, and we have our areas. Like
I think you slept at the fair this last week.
I sleep at the fair every year. Yeah, because I'm in charge of security. So
oh, you have security as well. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, so I stay at the fair. Plus, it's just, yeah, it's better that way.
What a fun time.
It is fun. I enjoy the fair. The rodeo, we just had our 75th anniversary for the rodeo. Last year, the fair celebrated its 100th anniversary, so big things are happening. You know, we're looking for new ideas and new things to bring to the county, because this is really the big event for Kitsap County, and
it is.
you know, it's hard. And then we have a blues festival the week after. We just started this.
Oh,
this
that's right,
year.
your blues festival. I'm sorry, I forgot
This is
about
our
that.
our first annual, which was, you know, we put it together pretty fast, but it was very successful, and I think now it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And
You're able to recover the fairgrounds?
no, I
after
never
the
got
fair?
to recover.
Oh, okay.
I just rolled right into it, but it was a different crowd. The blues fans, they're fun to hang out with, and people from all over the country, and even Canada showed up.
And they stay overnight.
They do. It's a 3-day event, and we have campgrounds here at the fairgrounds. I say this because it's literally right next door to this building, but they stayed and enjoyed it. They loved the Kitsap County, so it's actually drawing people to the area, so it's nice.
And are those the two events that the board puts on?
Yeah, and then
fair and rodeo.
Yeah.
It's not really an
I think
event.
that's enough for now.
It's a full week.
Yeah, we hold some events in the arena, because we lease the arena from the county, and so like the demolition derby and monster trucks, they rent the facility throughout the year, so those events are going on, but they're not associated with the association.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so how can the community get involved?
In what?
In the rodeo, shop with a cop?
Well, you can always get involved with the shop with the cop. If anyone is interested in volunteering or what have you, all they have to do is reach out to me. Like I said, the first Saturday of the month, if you're bored and you want to come to the Paulsbo Walmart and see a bunch of kids come in and enjoy a shopping spree and hanging out with law enforcement, you can come do that. Help wrap gifts, because we wrap all the gifts that they buy.
Oh, you wrap them too?
We wrap them. It's complete chaos in Walmart for 3 hours.
I was going to say, how long does this take? 3 hours?
Roughly. I try to tell the kids to be back on the bus by 6 so that their parents aren't waiting.
So you can get the stragglers eventually?
Right. But it's a 2 to 3 hour event at Walmart. So, but yes, we wrap all their gifts. So we have a large amount of volunteers that have to help wrap all of these gifts, and they do an amazing job. We can always look for the rodeo. Like I said, we're always looking for new board members if there's an area. It's not just the rodeo; it's the fair side too. So if people have, areas that they really love, whether it's the animals or the vendors, I guess I should throw that out. We have some openings for the fair board. So if you're interested,
no, I'm great. I love going.
Okay.
I love going when we go. So I want to kind of swing this a little bit to leadership. Mm-hmm. So you already talked about a customer encouraged you.
Yeah.
Did you have a mentor when you first started in law enforcement?
My mentor was her, Mary. Mary is her name. Like I said, I used to wait on her mom her dad, actually her mom and dad, and her every day. They would come in like Monday through Friday. I knew what all my customers, my regulars, ate and drank. But she was the one who started motivating me, and throughout school and testing for the sheriff's office and what have you, she's the one who constantly was my mentor. And then when I started working at the sheriff's office, Roxanne Payne, she was the only lieutenant when I got hired at the sheriff's office, and she was my mentor. Loved her. She retired just a few years ago. Sometimes she was really hard on me, but I think back now that she was being hard on me because she could see that there was maybe that spark in my eye, and that she was holding me to her standards, which was good because it worked out for me.
Okay.
So.
And then obviously you must mentor some of your staff.
I do. I try to mentor everybody, whether it's my staff or even the individuals that are in my facility that are incarcerated. I try to mentor them, be a cheerleader for them. I feel that now that I've broke that ceiling of being the first corrections officer to be promoted to chief of corrections, that opens a lot of opportunities.
A lot of career path for people behind you.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm excited for the future of the jail. And yeah, I mean, I feel it's important to be a mentor, and I feel very fortunate that I had such great people.
And then, my next question is, how do you develop yourself? But obviously, you're always talking about education is one of your primary sources. How do you develop the people around you then?
I try to. I hope it's just by lead by example. I don't. So since I was a corrections officer, there isn't anything I can't do in the jail. Now I shouldn't say that, because we just got a new record system, and I don't think I could book somebody because I haven't done that. But
the new system.
I'm not opposed to going in there and doing the hard work myself. So if they need help, I'll go in there and do it. And I think that's important for them to see that I'm not just sitting behind a desk. Although I feel I do a lot of that because there's a lot of meetings. Mm-hmm. But I'll get out there and help just like anybody else. I'm not above that.
And so I know the Sheriff's Office has been a big supporter of Leadership Kitsap, and you are a graduate of Leadership Kitsap.
I am. Loved it.
As myself, and I think the class this year has a deputy in there, I believe, a deputy, and I think every year there's at least one deputy going through Leadership Kitsap.
And a corrections officer, actually a corrections sergeant.
Well, that's right, because you do distinguish between corrections officer and deputy, different qualifications.
Right.
I mean, different training and qualifications
Correct.
to execute their jobs. So I'd like to thank you for all the amazing things you do in Kitsap County. The Shop with a Cop, I wish you the best success this year.
Oh, yes,
20 years doing that is truly amazing. So thank you very much for being here, and for all the extra stuff you do outside of your corrections job for our community. So please visit Kitsap.gov, and of course leadershipkitsap.org for more information about these organizations. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to next time, a conversation with a community leader. Thank you.